Today I'm supposed to fix my desk lamp light socket, and I might be starting creating a charcoal air filter fan system for soldering and mounting that fan filter maybe on my desk lamp somehow. The idea is to prevent soldering fumes from harming me. I'm still a little unclear on the best way to set it up. It seems like having it come down from this lamp here, the one by my face, would be good. So maybe having an arm come off of the desk lamp and be able to pivot and then be pretty near to my face. And then as I solder right around right here, the fan would be here, so I'd be soldering right here. The fan would blow it away from me and filter the majority of the chemicals out of it right away. It's not rip Adam. Technically, both of these jobs benefit Adam because Adam's going to involve a ton of electronics work, and so me going to the next level and working toward safer electronics work and long-term soldering over and over and over. You know, if you just solder once or twice a year, you don't need to worry too much about health hazards. But if you're going to be soldering regularly for many years, I think it's important to set up a filtration system for the soldering fumes. Sorry about that, guys. That was my kayaking partner calling me. Alright. How am I going to do this, guys? This is about where I want the filter to be while I work. When I'm not using it, maybe over here. Wait. No, we want it to be like this more. I'm thinking of mounting it right around here and then having it just run parallel to this and kind of dock right next to the lamp. This lamp I keep for lighting my work while I solder. So I always have it right here. I solder right here. So we want the filter to blow out that way. Because my air conditioning blows kind of at me from this angle. And so it's blowing the fumes right into my face. We want to get the fumes blown off to my right. And so this filter we want right about here. Now, we want the filter to be adjustable. We want it to move up into a docked position out of the way, right around here, and then be able to be brought down into a active position when it's time to solder. Now I'm thinking it's going to be extremely lightweight, so we could use some wire for it. Maybe even a hanger, a clothes hanger? Yeah, a clothes hanger would be amazing. Ha! We're on the same page, Drops. I mean, sure, you could create a hinge system like this lamp has and put a spring-activated thing on it and blah, 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 like a mic boom. And just have that forking off of here as a separate hinged thing. That'd be ideal, but that's way more work than just using a thick wire. And you just bend it into place. So, let me go get a clothes hanger. And we'll start from there. I'm also going to get out a fan. And we'll worry about wiring the 12 volt electric to it later. I'm thinking of forking off. Here's the wire for the light. We can just tap into this, connect it to a AC/DC adapter that puts out around half an amp at 12 volts, like a wall wart. Heck, we could even use something that outputs 9 volts at, let's say, an amp. And we can use my new boost converters, which I bought for like $2 each. I bought a whole bunch of them. We could use a boost converter to decrease the amperage and increase the voltage till it's 12 volts. So even if we don't have the exact right AC/DC adapter, using a boost converter would be able to modify the output voltage to match the 12 volts of the fan. I'm going to be using a 120 millimeter fan, and so we'll just put the wall wart maybe mounted right around where this elbow is, maybe right there. That'd be a good place for that weight to be. And then yeah, so we'll just fork off of that and run the wiring up to our fan, which will then be mounted right around here. And we'll be using an activated carbon filter, which, contrary to what people keep saying on YouTube comments on these types of videos, is the correct type of filter. Now, I think that's an important thing because the whole point of this is for health and safety. Let me just show you guys. Everyone's saying you should be using a HEPA filter, and you should be using an activated carbon filter. But I say that's wrong. A HEPA filter is pretty much the kind of filter you have in a shop vac. It gets rid of fine dust. So if you're vacuuming the dust of a room or a computer, it will work for that. It's only meant to reduce particles greater than or equal to 0.3 micrometers. I mean, yeah, micrometers, also known as microns. The fumes from solder are zero point 0.1 microns. Now, some supposedly are up to 1 micron, but the fact that a large percentage of them are between 0 0.1 to 0.3, that means a lot of them would not get filtered. But what's great is that an activated carbon filter is made for filtering gases and chemicals. It's used in chemical masks and stuff. It's used in filtering the gas from your car, your catalytic converter. HEPA filters are designed to arrest very fine particles effectively, but they do not filter out gases and odor molecules. Gases and odor are what's causing cancer and stuff from the solder fumes. One of the things they say about gas masks is if you start smelling chemicals, that means your gas mask filter needs to be replaced. That's a good indicator. So the fact that a HEPA filter does not filter out even the smell shows you it's not really that good. Plus, a fan can't really blow through a gas mask filter. You have to suck really hard with your lungs to even get air through that. So, in order to make a gas mask type filter, you would need too powerful of a suction fan. Now, circumstances requiring filtration of volatile organic compounds, which is exactly what we're going to be getting with solder fumes. Chemical vapors, that's again solder fumes. Cigarettes, hello, we're talking smoke here. That's exactly what we're trying to filter out. Pet and flatulence odors, definitely want to get rid of odors. Call for the use of an activated carbon charcoal filter. That's the kind of filter you want. For all you people saying HEPA, 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 go with HEPA. HEPA is for larger particles. The fine, very fine particles that are created by smoke and gases would pass right through a HEPA filter. So everyone saying use a HEPA filter is wrong on these YouTube video comments. You want activated carbon filters. Now, activated carbon filters are specifically designed to filter out the very finest of particles. They're porous charcoal. All the little pores have a large surface area. Low volume pores that increase the surface area. And all the nasty stuff, high degree of microporosity, all the nasty stuff gets stuck in this. And you actually only need to change it out like once every couple years. But if you're only turning it on for soldering, I mean, you could be looking at 5 or 6 years before you would need to change it out. So, especially as a hobbyist level soldering, it's perfect. Now, I would still recommend being in a well-ventilated room, and because if your room is generally speaking well-ventilated, over time all the air is getting replaced anyways. My room probably gets all new air put into it once every 10 minutes. So we're just kind of pre-filtering with this anyways to get rid of the majority of the nasty disease-causing stuff from the solder fumes, and also redirect it away from our face. From that point forward, whatever is left over that didn't get filtered would ultimately get evacuated through my exhaust ventilation setup. Now, my exhaust ventilation setup is here. Above my air conditioner, you can see a towel that's kind of being sucked inward. You can see the outline of the vacuum hose shoved up in there and taped into place. It's being sucked inward because it's a powerful inline exhaust vent fan blowing to the outdoors. So that towel is actually kind of acting as a filter as air is leaving my room. The main purpose of the towel for me is if you took that towel away, it lets in too much warm air from outside if the wind is blowing this way. Even though, I mean, it is blowing outbound, but it still makes a little bit of difference. Especially in winter, if you take that towel away, the room gets kind of cold. And then it keeps the light out. Plus, you could kind of look into the room from outside if that towel weren't there. So it's a privacy towel as well. But that fan is on 24/7 for me. And it's blowing a substantial amount of air for a small room like this, 12 by 12. A lot of air actually does make it out through that fan. And even though the towel does block a lot of the airflow, it's still making air leave the room. That's the bottom line. And so whatever stuff my filter doesn't get is going to get filtered out pretty quickly. And I leave that thing on year-round 24/7. So this is just like a first line of defense to make my room a little more safe. Because the biggest risk with soldering for me is that initial smoke coming off it, me breathing it in directly immediately. But the lingering fumes that happen well after the job that dissipate throughout the room do make its way out to the outdoors through my inline exhaust vent fan. So they won't be hanging out in my room for days or whatever, just sitting there and me eventually breathing them in many times. So anyways, yeah, I disagree with people making the claim about you need HEPA filters. No, you don't. This will be the very best kind of filter to use. HEPA filter won't do anything. A great deal of the particulates from solder fumes would go right through that, including the smell of it and everything else. So activated carbon filters are the way to go. Alright, let me go get the stuff and continue. Alright, I got the clothes hanger, the filter, the fan, and a 12 volt 2 amp AC/DC adapter. I happen to have all of these items, or some I bought specifically for this. Specifically the filter I bought for this a long time ago, planning to eventually get around to this, and I hadn't till now. But the PC cooling fan I just had from a PC that I bought, or like, you know, it comes with motherboards and stuff. And this adapter, I don't know. It might have come with a computer I bought in the past, or who the heck knows. I've been saving AC/DC adapters for quite some time. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe mounting this thing here. How do I want to attach it though? I know! My new twist ties! I've been wanting to use these. They're so cool. They're black. They'll look great. That's the way to go, man. I'm going to be using these twist ties for everything. Okay, so how specifically though? First I'll twist tie the actual lamp arm itself, and then I'll put a twist tie through that to mount to the box, the adapter box. Because if I just go around the adapter box and then around the little arm of this thing, I think it will slide too much. But if I tie one tight around this little arm right off the bat, that will have a nice grip around the entire arm, more friction. And then tying one onto that, the one tied onto that, will benefit from the friction from vertical sliding of the one that's mounted directly to that arm. Plus we could put a little bit of black electrical tape to prevent the twist tie from sliding downward. This 1,000-piece bag of black twist ties costs like $5 in free shipping from China, so really good deal. I recommend everyone that wants to get into DIY heavily to buy something like this. It's going to come in handy a million times. Okay. I like that. You know, I think a little bit of black electrical tape just to make sure that thing doesn't slide up and down too much would be nice. Normally I use my other webcam to show what I'm doing, but I think in this case my face cam is kind of going to be fine. I don't know about that. What I just did might have been a mistake. Well, maybe I should have taped it after I went through it. Okay, are these twist ties going to be long enough? No! Well, who'd have thought? Wait, can't you make twist ties longer, though? Isn't there... Oh, zip ties! Thank you for the correction. I meant to say zip ties this whole time, guys. Okay, to make one longer, can't you just put it through? And then, yeah, that it becomes a longer one. Okay, so I just put one slightly through one, and then you still have a male and female. So that's how you make them longer. Nice. That didn't take me that long to figure out. So they're so versatile as far as sizing goes. That's really nice. Okay, so now we can... I need to move my electrical tape out of the way so I can go through the one we already mounted. Okay. Now I can electrical tape back over good. And now I want this side up. We can put this around here. And cinch it down tight enough, hopefully. Yeah, that's nice and tight. That's not going anywhere. Well, you know, a little bit of electrical tape on it will help, I think, to make sure it doesn't slide out of the twist tie. I mean, I guess we could have just electrical taped the whole thing right on, but twist ties will be stronger actually. And electrical tape with time will probably start to get gooey, and on a hot day they'll start to lose their stick. So just using it for friction base, just tacking things in place is a lot better than for really anything structural where it's going to need to hold weight for years. It wouldn't hold for something like that. What now? Well, I guess I can plug this thing in. Nope, I don't want to plug it in yet, though. Alright, we'll worry about plugging it in later. For now, let's worry about... No, I think the next thing we should do is focus on... mounting. Adam's way better than that robot. Got an idea. I don't know if my side clippers can handle cutting this wire. I know. This one has stronger cutters, though. My needle nose pliers. Ugh. Okay, if I straighten this out... What the heck? Oh, I thought it went all the way through. I didn't know it's just stubbed into here. Wow, okay. That's kind of suspiciously convenient. Kind of just did my job for me there. Let's see. So we want it to be able to... Oh, this is turning out way too easy. This is going to blow toward me, though. I have to reverse this. Does not look bad, mailbox. Alright. I'm going to zip tie the end of this thing onto here. And then nice, okay. Another zip tie. Okay. And then we'll need another zip tie. Okay. The key is, though, to be able to move it out of the way. Whenever. This is actually really good positioning overall, but we need to have... Wait. Okay, it is sagging a little bit. We need more wires, bottom line. Need a height adjuster wire next. Well, a regular fan won't have an activated carbon filter. Also, regular fan won't be located perfectly right by where I'm soldering, so that it can just suck the fumes right away from my face. It needs to be near my face. We're going to be able to position this thing right by where I'm soldering, like this. So I'm literally soldering right here, and this fan is right next to it. Um, okay. Let's see what we can do with more wire. Okay. Hmm. uh. Hmm. If you guys have any ideas, I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Isn't the goal just to be able to bend it up? That was the original intent. Why isn't it doing, why is that hard? It needs to be really rigidly held at a fixed point, huh? This will create a tiny cross breeze. But also, actually a cross breeze wouldn't be ideal because my mic would pick that up as loud fan noise. My headset. We'd be better off having a drawing fan that's blowing away from me, which wouldn't really get picked up as blowing forced air into the mic. So this will be superior in that regard as well. Plus it will be filtered. A cross breeze wouldn't have any filtration. It's going to have activated carbon filter added. Right, let me get this wire off for a minute. I want to test me moving the lamp around. Interesting. The fan kind of like... What the heck? Man, is that ever weird? Okay, so I'm thinking, how do I make it go up and down in an easy way? So some kind of hinge system. So I'm thinking of creating a wire hinge. Like this. Hmm. Oh, that's interesting. Alright. If I had some kind of rigid surface next, I think would be good. Uh, what do I have that is long and hard? Nail file. Tape that down. Electrical tape. Uh, do you guys feel I could have a better camera view on all this? Maybe I can. Alright, so far we've got uh, the adapter right here. We've got this clothes hanger twist tied on right here. And we've got a nail file right here. I'm hoping to create a clamping system for adjusting the height of this thing. I want it to nest itself up behind the lamp much of the time. Alright, let's try that clamping system again. What would happen if I just wrapped that like that? Let me just cut this here. Okay. Let me tape off these ends of wire. What's up, Mike? Okay, no. Alright, so let's say we got it there. I mean, that's perfect positioning as far as doing what we needed to do. Let me get some more electrical tape for here. Okay. So, perfect position for fume extraction. And then when we want to bring it up, we just do this. It worked! Dude! And then when we want to bring it down, we just do this. Boom. Up. Down. We did it, man! I feel smart as heck now. Maybe I am the world's leading roboticist. It's not all talk. Look at that. I mean, that thing's nested up there now. That's what we wanted, it out of the way when we're not using it. And then now, can we still use the fan? Can we still put it away? Yes, we can. Holy cow. I just went beast mode. That is insane. Wow. I totally solved this. Magnifying glass in the front of the lamp. Alright, so let me pull it down. I'm kind of shocked at how well that worked. Let me just give you guys more of a detailed view of exactly what's going on here, because it's a little confusing. Alright, so we've got here twist ties, 3 of them, holding down the hanger. The hanger comes out, and it forks outward, and then it just comes through the screw holes here and here. It just juts right in. And here we have our nail file. It's taped down here, here, and here. And then wrapped around the whole thing is just another wire. It just comes around the top. And its job Huh. So you can see that it just clamps things up snug against this when we want to dock this away. So this is the active position when it's down. So it's like right here, and I'm working right here, and it's blowing. But then the docked position is up here. Like that. That's docked. Should be able, well, if we tape it here, we can get it even more solid. I think you guys get the idea. So that second piece of wire was the real magic here. Let's see. We want this second piece of wire to be taped down. You know what? I'm going to zip tie it down. More zip ties, the better. Because everywhere I use electrical tape, it's just going to eventually need to be retaped. Electrical tape really isn't meant for anything load-bearing or structural. Let me go ahead and cut away all the twist tie ends, sloppy ends. Okay. So let's try it again. Very nice. Yeah, we want it to be able to dock nice and snug, completely behind, out of play, so this thing can go anywhere and not be interfered with. And then when we want it, we just zoop, pull it down. And then it's in position to be useful. I'm going to want to tape down this wire a little better onto the nail file stick in the corners here. Tell you what, guys, I'm kind of blown away by how nice this worked out. Oh man, I've outdone myself. Really, all of this is made possible by the fact that this fan is so light in weight. You can get away with not having to build any type of really robust, strong, spring-loaded system. So this is kind of my spring, actually. So it's up, it's docked, it's deployed. And tape this a little better. Right here. So this thing is pretty ghetto, but it's like the robot's not going to be ghetto. But we're just trying to make these little makeshift things quick and dirty, that are for just improving the office. And you can always improve on it later if you have a little time, like correct things and make it stronger, make it look a little better. But sometimes, like, these little projects will take up too much time if you get all hung up on making it all extra fancy. So yeah, here it's docked. We can swing it out of the way. This wire is getting hung up on stuff. Swing it out of the way like that. And then I end up pushing it way down here too. If my wife's watching TV with me on the computer, I need to bury it nice and low like this, out of the way. And that's looking good. And then when it's time to, for the wife not here, I usually keep it like right here. And that looks fine. And then when it's time to use it, I use it like this. Okay. And then when it's time to deploy the fan, boom. It's awesome, man. That's absolutely awesome. I would even like to be able to fold the fan even more if I could. Or maybe turn it. Yeah, we can turn it up this way. So it's really out of the way. Huh. Interesting. This moved. Okay, let me just put this like that. Feed it through here. Okay. And again. Feed it through again. Yeah. Okay. Bend that this way. And then I'll cut it. Huh. Alright, I want this to be a little more rigid. So I'm going to add another wire. I swear I get so much use out of this wire. It's like this rusty, I think it's called baling wire, that I found in my grandpa's garage with all of his other tools and random bits and bobs. I was tasked with going through everything my grandpa owned and taking what I want because he was in the nursing home and he pretty much had no more use for any of his stuff. And he had a lot of stuff. It was kind of a sad time. I could get all this free stuff, but I'd rather have my grandpa keep his own free stuff. Or his own stuff, you know? It was like taking the belongings of a dying man. It was bittersweet. Yeah, I like all the free tools I want, but at the same time, poor grandpa. rather have him using the tools. Someday somebody's gonna take all my junk. They'll probably throw most of it away. People won't even know what it's for. Having all these weird roboticist stuff, everyone will just junk it, I bet. At least his stuff is like pretty practical, just like fixing your own car type stuff. And carpentry stuff, but I'm gonna have all kinds of like weird specialty things. Alright. We're getting somewhere. Whoop. Man, tape, wire, and twist ties. What a deadly combination. You give me that and I can do a lot. Right now I'm just strengthening my whole setup. By doubling up the wire, this will just be a little more robust, durable. So like if I want to bend the fan in more obscure directions to get it out of the way, if it's kind of in my way and I'm not using it, this will enable me to really shape where I locate it with a lot more control, just by having thicker wire for the shaping of where the fan ends up. Otherwise, the weight of the fan is actually kind of pulling down the flimsy wire prematurely without me really putting it exactly where I want it to end up. It's funny, the other video, this guy made his exhaust vent fan on YouTube, and he used a drill press and a miter box, all kinds of stuff to create this wooden holder, and in the end this wire holder just using scrap wire and tape is superior by far because it's mounted to a lamp and it's adjustable, and it's just gonna dangle the fan right where I need it, and you can dock the fan up under the lamp so it's out of your way when you're not using it. Whereas his, it's like a standalone thing. It's gonna take up a permanent spot on his desk, and he has to just have that in the way always, forever. A big wooden spot just taking up room. Whereas my fan will just pretty much be disappeared when I don't want to use it. It will just be just kind of hovering in the air, not taking up any table space or shelf space. So this is superior. And I'm also benefiting from the desk lamp boom arm, making that boom arm benefit my soldering exhaust fan as well, by being able to use it to not only pivot and dock and put away the lamp, but also pivot, dock, and put away the fan, so it's never really in the way. So we're basically making the desk lamp into a multi-tool in that regard. Much better, okay. So that's not going to interfere now with my vacuum chamber. That was my concern, is it would interfere with the vacuum chamber. Alright. Next step, I'd say, should be the carbon filter. Actually, I stopped using chapstick. I became allergic from using it too much, I guess. One day I just couldn't do it anymore. Okay. Carbon filters next. Where did my scissors go? Oh, here they are. Activated carbon filter. I really want to test the direction of the fan, although I guess... I want to test it. Dagnabbit. Let me test it then. First thing, I need to make sure these aren't touching. Okay. I just gotta plug in my adapter then. Okay. Oh, it's LED and everything. That's a nice touch. The blue LED, that's pretty cool. Alright. It is blowing the correct direction, by the way. Should we do the electronics now then? Why not? Alright guys, I'm going to be using something very naughty for this. Don't hate on me, okay? But, as you guys may recall, I bought some connectors. And this seems like as good a time as any to try them out. Alright, the first thing though, I've got to strip the fan wire. I kind of would like an on-off switch for this whole thing too. Okay. Fan wire stripping, let's do that. Very good. Okay. Rather than solder them together, we're going to be using this nifty little connector. Ha. Okay. And then, so you just push down on it. I want you guys to get a close-up of this. This connector is awesome. Alright, so we got them in, like, right here. All you do is push down on this tab, and it opens up this inside part, and then you just slide it in, and then you let go. And then it's in. Do that one more time for this part. Yeah. Okay. But I have a lot of extra wire hanging out, including this loose dangling bit I don't like. Okay, cutting that away. Well, shoot. That's just a matter of making it shorter. It's just very long, that's all. Let me cut it right here. Yeah. Huh. That is convenient as heck. Let me see what this connector's called for you guys. This connector is just incredible, man. It just did it. I mean, it's just such a quick, easy solution for stuff. Ha! It could even be my on-off switch if I wanted. I could just pop it out, just pop out one wire, and when I want to use it, just pop it back in. That's insane. But a proper on-off switch might be a little better, though. I'm not sure. It's going to be a tough one. Alright, let me look up the connector real quick. You're right, that's important to share, since it's so good. It's $1 for 30 of them, and free shipping. Alright, let me show you guys. Here's the picture of them. And it's called 30 pieces self-locking electrical cable connectors quick splice lock wire terminals. 24 5-star ratings. It's actually sold out at the moment. Interesting. but I'm sure there's a lot of other sellers in China selling them. And here's a close-up. And it's just so easy. You just press down on the tab, slide the wire in, and then release. And the little metal part you see at the bottom is actually a spring. When you press down the tab, the spring comes down, and it opens up a little gap at the top where you slide the wire in. You release the tab, and the spring pushes back up, and the wire gets clamped in. And in the process of the spring widening and clamping that wire, pressing it against the roof of the thing, it creates an electrical connection since the spring is conductive. So it's that easy. I think it's pretty cool that this thing's LED. It makes my setup look all the cooler. So anyways, let me now do wire management. So we're going to neatly guide all this wiring along an attractive path. And now one thing I've learned about wire management is you want all the wire to be as hidden as possible, and you want to use lots of zip ties. So let's zip tie the heck out of it. Black zip ties are attractive and take up no space, and they're nice load bearing things. They'll never like lose stickiness or whatever. And they're easy to cut away if you ever wanted to get rid of it later. Like remove the wire for whatever reason. You just take a little snip and cut it. And it leaves no sticky residue behind like tape would. Zip ties I'm going to be using for everything now. Now that I bought my 1,000 pack for like $8, I'm going to become the king of zip tie for all my wire management. I had a small bag of clear zip ties, which I've used on and off, but I always saved them because I never had that many. I bought like 100 pack, and those have been lasting me for like, I don't know, 7 years, and I use them very sparingly. But now I decided it's time for me to step up and use zip ties for a lot more stuff. So I really splurged and bought a 1,000 pack. So now I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to use zip ties as liberally as I use tape from now on. I think they're super underrated and so much better than tape. Tape over time, you'll tape like something into place, then over time it will slowly start to sag and come apart if it's load bearing. It won't hold long term, whereas zip ties will hold forever because they don't have some kind of sticky substance that slowly loses its stickiness with time or with heat on like a real hot day. Okay, and then for all the excess wire, we can just bundle it up. And try to make sure we don't accidentally put it anywhere it shouldn't be. We don't want any of this stuff to interfere with the ability of this boom arm for the lamp to close and open and function properly. That's the key, is to work around the function of the lamp, not interfere with the lamp at all. At all. Something just fell on the floor. Have to find that later. Alright, I want to clip away all the excess zip tie odds and ends again. Holy crap, this thing Stupid tape already came off? You're kidding me, dude. Electrical tape is so unreliable. But it's quick. So I'll electrical tape things. It looks good and it's quick, and then I'll go over it with my homemade electrical tape, which is super, super stout and long lasting. Lasts forever, really. Doesn't ever lose its stickiness. Alright, oh, one more. Okay. And then finally we need this. I know, for the carbon filter. We can zip tie that on too, right? Yeah, man, let's zip tie it on. Absolutely. So, for that, we'll need to poke a hole through. Trying to show you guys what I'm doing. I just stuck this little curved needle through. Now I'm going to use that pathing to shove a zip tie through right next to it. I'll look at where I poked the hole and just match it. There we go. And then okay. Hmm. Another needle poke through. And then another zip tie. Nice. We went through the fan, through the filter. Now zip tying that. Okay. Now another hole. Poking through the carbon filter again with my curved suturing needle. Okay, pulling it out. And then another zip tie. Yes, went through. Do we need to zip tie a final time? No, I don't think so. 3 is fine. Okay, so I'll cut away the excess here. Here. And black zip ties look so good. So professional. So much better than like duct taping the filter to it. Okay, so let me show you guys. Here's a detail shot of the zip tie going through. And here's the connection point of the wire again. Here's the bundle of wire coming from the 12-volt adapter here, as you can see. And then here's the plug to it, which I plugged in at the floor. So, I would say, wow. I didn't necessarily know that I would get this done today. I mean, well, I didn't know for sure anything, but goodness, this project was a major success here. When I sat down, I didn't really have a clear plan. I hadn't thought about it that much, like how I'm going to pull this off. I kind of did most of this on the fly, just figuring it out as we went along. And this just blew my mind at how well things went. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, I am the king of DIY, aren't I? I am the world's leading roboticist. What did we expect? Anything less than mind-blowing performance on a project? Why would we expect anything less than mind-blowing? I'd say just pulling the wire out each time would be reasonable. As opposed to an on-off switch. Because look how fast this is. Look, we do boom, and then I just stick this through. That's pretty fast, right? And then pull it out, dock it, boom. So we're just like, okay, time to do electronics. Boom, boom. It's a little slow. You know what? That slows me down a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of solder on the stranded wire coming out of the fan. That really fine stranded wire will go into my terminal a little faster if we have it the perfect length and have it tinned so that it becomes basically solid wire, just kind of connecting all the strands together. That way we can just shove it in real briskly, real fast. Alright. Alright. So that's done. Okay. Now we can shove it in just a little bit faster. Oh, come on. It didn't have enough solder on it, I guess. There's still a loose strand on it. So let me put on a little more solder. Alright. I'm not going to shut my soldering iron off because we forgot the final thing we ought to show is we gotta show it extracting fumes. Duh. Nice. Some are missing. But the majority is going through this. Main thing is it's going very much not at my face now. You know, I think it wants to travel upward because this filter's slightly askew or skewed away from the top. There. Now it's covering the whole top. Let's see if it travels better now. I think that should help. Yeah, that evened out the flow. Yeah, it's not perfect. I still see fumes going above it and below it. But it's drawing the fumes away from my face, so I don't breathe it in right away. And then the rest of the fumes, you know, as they are, you know, spread out throughout the air of my room, will get out through the primary ventilation systems of the room, which you should have anyways if you do a lot of projects, work with a lot of toxic stuff. As I showed earlier, I do have an exhaust vent fan system, which I highly recommend everyone puts in, and I have videos about that on my YouTube channel about how to make your own or whatever, or just demonstrating how I set mine up. So yeah, this thing's working great, and we'll just pop out the red each time. When we want it, pop in the red, boom, and then off. And we can dock this thing up here. I can put it away like that. The thing's too funny, man. When we want it away. Don't even see it right now. It's like it's not even there. But when I want to use it, I can just whoop, bend things into place, pop it in. Done with it, pop it out, pop this up, boom. Gotta tell you, looks like a winner to me. The simplicity of it's just absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe that. It looks so ghetto, though. That's one thing I have to admit. This thing... My room's looking more and more like a mad scientist thing. I swear. This looks ridiculous. Now I don't just have a modified lamp. Now it's got like crazy fans sticking off of it. This looks stupid. But hey, I mean it's really practical. But it just looks like something you'd see on Mad Max. So yeah, man. I can say that we crossed 2 things off the to-do list today. Well, today was supposed to be Electronics Day, and I chose to put these electronics related kind of room customization and office setup improvement jobs into my Electronics Day to-do list. I know it's not specifically working on the power supply, but these were very real concerns to me to get what I just finished done for health reasons and for the sanity of having a light bulb that doesn't just hang out of the socket, blinding me all the time. So, yeah, these were things that were very much due to be taken care of. So I'm glad I did them. Finally got around to it. And it was nice to be able to try out my new connectors too. They worked so well. You know, that type of stuff can make electronics just so much easier. Having little connectors like that. I know it's not a big deal to solder the wire, but those soldered joints fail, and the wires bend back and forth. Eventually, those solder point joints pull apart. Whereas this connector, if it failed, you just pop it back in a little bit. So I trust it more. Solder joint, when it fails, you gotta cut away the insulation, re-expose the wire, resolder it, all this stuff.